What if the idea that you have to work until your mid-60s is just a script? A story that someone handed you at the age of 16 without ever asking whether it was the one you wanted? A growing number of people across the UK are tearing up that script. They're not lottery winners. They're not heirs to family wealth. They're teachers, engineers, nurses, software developers, people on ordinary incomes who have used a specific financial strategy to become financially independent in their 30s and 40s. It's called the FIRE movement, Financial Independence, Retire Early. And while it's not for everyone, and I want to be completely honest about that, the principles behind it are genuinely powerful for anyone who wants more financial freedom than the conventional 40-year career path offers. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how FIRE works, how to calculate your FIRE number, what the UK-specific considerations are, and whether this might be something worth pursuing for you. Let's get into it. The FIRE movement traces its roots to a book called Your Money or Your Life, written by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez back in 1992. The core idea: your time and energy are your most valuable resources. Most people spend them earning money to buy things they don't really need in order to impress people they don't really like. FIRE flips this on its head. Save aggressively, invest consistently. Build a portfolio large enough that the investment returns can cover your living expenses indefinitely, so that you never have to work for money again unless you choose to. The movement gained massive momentum in the 2010s, particularly online, through blogs, forums, and social media communities. In the UK, communities like the Reddit group r/FireUK have tens of thousands of members sharing their journeys, strategies, and progress. These are real people, ordinary people making it work on ordinary salaries. And here's something important about FIRE that often gets misunderstood. Financial independence doesn't necessarily mean never working again. Many FIRE followers continue to work, but on their own terms. They take lower-paid jobs they actually love, they freelance for 10 hours a week instead of 45, they volunteer, they travel. The point is that they work by choice, not necessity. That distinction changes everything. Now, let's talk maths, because FIRE is a lot more concrete than most financial goals. There are actual numbers involved, and that's one of its great strengths. The central concept is your FIRE number, the size of the portfolio you need to reach financial independence. And it's calculated using something called the 4% rule. The 4% rule comes from the Trinity study, a piece of research from US academics that looked at how much a portfolio can sustainably withdraw each year without running out of money over a 30-year retirement. The conclusion? You can safely withdraw 4% of your portfolio per year, adjusted for inflation, and your portfolio should last indefinitely, assuming a balanced investment strategy. So to work out your FIRE number, you take your annual living expenses and multiply by 25, because 4% of 25 times your expenses equals exactly your annual expenses. Example: if you spend £20,000 a year, your FIRE number is £500,000. If you live more modestly on $15,000 a year, your FIRE number is £375,000. If you want to live more comfortably on £30,000 a year, you need £750,000.
These are significant numbers, but they're not arbitrary, and they're achievable with time and the right strategy. Now, there are different flavors of FIRE, and knowing which one appeals to you matters because they require very different things. Lean FIRE, the frugal version, living on a tight budget in retirement, often under £15,000 to £20,000 a year. It requires a smaller FIRE number, but a more minimalist lifestyle. Not for everyone, but the path is shorter. If simplicity appeals to you, this is worth exploring. Fat FIRE, the comfortable version, £35,000 to £60,000 a year in retirement. Requires a larger portfolio, usually £875,000 to £1.5 million, takes longer but gives significantly more freedom. Barista FIRE, perhaps the most practical version. You reach a point where part-time or flexible work covers your expenses while your portfolio keeps growing. Not fully retired, but free from the 45-hour week grind. Many UK FIRE followers end up here. And coast fire, where you've invested enough that compound growth will carry your portfolio to your full fire number by traditional retirement age, even if you never contribute another penny. A very achievable first milestone. Now, this is crucial because a lot of fire content is written for Americans by Americans. The UK context is different in some important ways. First, pension access age. You can't access your pension until 55, rising to 57 in 2028. If you retire at 40, that money is locked away for 17 years. You need substantial ISA savings to bridge that gap. In practice, UK fire followers plan for 3 phases: ISA-funded early retirement, pension access, and eventually the state pension at 67. Second, the ISA is your fire best friend. Your annual £20,000 allowance lets you build a substantial tax-free portfolio accessible at any age. Third, if you stop working early, you'll accumulate fewer NI years and may get a reduced state pension. Voluntary NI contributions can protect your entitlement and their exceptional value, as we covered in our pensions video. Fourth, the NHS. Healthcare in early UK retirement costs dramatically less than in the US, a genuine and significant advantage. And fifth, UK tax rules let you withdraw 25% of your pension pot completely tax-free. Understanding how to structure withdrawals across pensions and ISAs can significantly reduce your tax bill in early retirement. The investment approach for UK FIRE is straightforward. Invest consistently in low-cost, globally diversified index funds inside your ISA and pension, something like the Vanguard FTSE Global All Cap Fund or a similar ETF. Charges under 0.25% per year, exposure to thousands of companies worldwide. And the key variable, your savings rate. At 10%, FIRE takes roughly 40 years. At 30%, around 28. At 50%, around 17. At 70%, under 10. Most UK FIRE followers aim somewhere between 30 and 60%, combining higher income with lower spending. FIRE requires looking at your spending very differently, not as debt duration, as prioritization. Every pound you spend is either working for you or it's gone forever. FIRE followers attack the big 3 expenses aggressively: housing, transport, and food, which consume 60 to 70% of most budgets. Housing. Live below your means, rent out a spare room, or choose a lower-cost area.
Property prices in Newcastle and the Northeast are substantially lower than London or the Southeast, a genuine FIRE advantage if you're based there. Transport. Drive cheap, paid-off cars rather than new ones on finance. Avoiding car finance is a particularly high-impact decision. And food? Meal planning, batch cooking, minimal takeaways. Considered, not habitual. The goal isn't to live like a monk, it's to be intentional. Every unnecessary expense is potentially years added to your working life. The other big lever is income growth. Side hustles, promotions, career changes. Every pound of extra income that goes straight to investing compresses your timeline dramatically. Let's be honest, full FIRE, quitting all work in your mid-30s, is genuinely difficult on a median UK salary without exceptional discipline and some degree of sacrifice. I won't pretend otherwise. But here's what I'd argue. The principles of FIRE are valuable to everyone, regardless of whether full early retirement is your goal. Increasing your savings rate, investing consistently in low-cost index funds, reducing lifestyle inflation, building financial independence, even partial independence. These things make every part of your financial life better. Even if you never aim to retire at 40, applying FIRE thinking could mean retiring at 58 instead of 67, having the option to take a lower-paid job you love at 50, having the security to walk away from a toxic workplace because you have a financial cushion. That is worth pursuing for almost anyone. Right, if this resonates, here's where to begin.
calculate your actual annual spending. Multiply by 25, that's your FIRE number. Write it down and make it real. Calculate your current savings rate. Open or top up your stocks and shares ISA. Pick your flavor, lean, fat, or barista. Join the Our FIRE UK community on Reddit. Real people, real UK salaries, real journeys. Extraordinarily motivating. You are not doing this alone. And be patient. FIRE is a long game, but every year you pursue it, your options grow, your freedom grows, and your relationship with money and with work fundamentally changes. The FIRE movement isn't a cult, it isn't extreme deprivation, and it isn't only for the elite. It's a framework for thinking about money, time, and freedom, and deciding deliberately what kind of life you actually want to build. Whether you want full early retirement or just significantly more options than most people your age, the principles of FIRE can get you there. They're working for ordinary Brits right now on normal salaries in cities like Newcastle, Manchester, and Bristol. You could be one of them. If this sparks something for you, please subscribe to this channel. We're building out the full series to help you get there. Drop your FIRE number in the comments or tell me where you're at on your journey. If you're just starting out, that's perfect. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Until next time, take care of your money. Your future self will thank you for it.